These stories were created by an AI to bring you chills and thrills. If you notice any mistakes or odd phrasing, I sincerely apologize. Sit back, enjoy the eerie atmosphere, and remember, sometimes the scariest things are closer than you think. I should have known something was wrong when the landlord wouldn't look me in the eyes. "People don't stay long," he muttered, shoving the keys into my palm. His fingers were corpse cold. The apartment was perfect, hardwood floors, bay windows, and a price that made my credit card weep with joy. I told myself I was lucky, that maybe just this once fortune had favored me. But that first night I learned why it was cheap. I woke at 3:17 a.m. to the sound of chewing, not rats, not pipes. Something wet and deliberate, gnawing inside the walls. A slow slurping sound, as if something was savoring each bite. I pressed my ear to the plaster, my breath frozen in my throat. Whispers, soft and insidious, threading between the studs like spider silk. "She's listening." I jerked away. Silence. The next night, it got worse. The air in the apartment grew thick, stale like old breath trapped inside a coffin. The hardwood floors creaked under invisible weight. The windows, which once let in beautiful golden light, now seemed to pull the darkness inward. Then came the shadow. It started as a stain, darker than darkness, pooling at the foot of my bed. It had weight, it had breath, and when I screamed, it screamed back with my voice, not an echo, a mimicry, a twisted, guttural mockery that sent me scrambling out of bed, heart hammering against my ribs. By week 2, I stopped pretending it was the neighbors. The whispers followed me to work, coiled in my ears during meetings, slithering through the hum of fluorescent lights. My reflection in the office bathroom mirror blinked a second too slow. Coffee tasted like soil. Then I found the stains. Black. Mold crept up the bedroom wall in perfect cursive. The letters warped and shifted when I tried to read them, but I knew what they said. I scraped at it with a butter knife, and the plaster bled. Dark, sluggish rivulets, as though the apartment itself was alive. That's when the landlord showed up uninvited, his yellowed teeth bared in something that wasn't a smile. "You're still here," he observed, like it was a problem. I wanted to leave. I swear I did. But the apartment, it held me. The door locks would jam. My phone refused to dial out, and every time I packed a bag, I'd wake up to find my belongings neatly put back in their place, like I'd never tried to leave at all. Then, beneath the floorboards, I found the newspaper. Clippings, brittle with age, yellowed at the edges. My hands shook as I unfolded them. Tenant found dead in locked apartment. Suicide ruled. The photo showed my bedroom, my body, but the date. April 14th, 1992, 20 years before I was born. The whispers erupted into laughter. The light bulbs exploded. The darkness at the foot of my bed stretched toward me, fingers of ink curling up my legs, pulling me down. The walls shuddered, the floor trembled, and I realized then with bone-deep certainty the truth I had ignored for far too long. The apartment wasn't haunted. I was, and I had never left. Grandfather's mansion smelled of funeral flowers and lies. Never open the last door, he'd warned me as a child, his whiskey breath sour with fear. Now his coffin was in the ground, and the iron key burned in my pocket. The door groaned like a dying thing. Inside, time had stopped. Dust choked a four-poster bed straight out of a Victorian nightmare. A porcelain doll sat primly on the dresser, its glass eyes tracking me. And the mirror. Oh God, the mirror. My reflection was wrong. The eyes were mine, but the smirk wasn't. Tad leaned closer as I stepped back, fogging the glass with breath it shouldn't have. "James," it mouthed. I found the journal in the desk. Grandfather's handwriting spiraled into madness. The mirror doesn't reflect, it remembers. It keeps copies. And tonight, it wants to trade places. The doll's head creaked toward me, a whisper from the mirror. "Let me out." I slammed the door. The lock clicked from inside. Now I write this by flashlight as something wearing my face scratches at the other side of the glass. The doll is gone, From the dresser, I hear it crawling under the bed, and worst of all, sometimes I catch myself smiling in the dark, like it's already won. I never pick up hitchhikers, but tonight, under a blood-red moon, I almost stopped. He stood beneath a flickering street lamp, his face a blur of shadows. His thumb was outstretched, but his posture screamed wrong, joints bending backward, head cocked like a bird studying prey. My foot hovered over the brake. Then his mouth unzipped into a smile too wide for any human face. I floored it. 10 miles later, my GPS died. The radio spat static. Then a wet voice gargled, "Missed me!" The back seat was empty, until it wasn't. He lounged across the leather, his long fingers tap-tap-tapping to the rhythm of my pulse. His hood had fallen back, revealing nothing. A smooth, blank oval where a face should be. I swerved into a gas station. The attendant took one look at my car and crossed himself. "Back seat's empty, lady," he lied. But the rear window was fogged. Words appeared like an invisible finger was writing. "Almost home." My phone rang, my own number flashed on screen. I answered to hear myself giggling. "I'm in your house now," my voice purred. "Come see what I've done with the cat." When I got home, every light was blazing. The TV played my wedding video on loop, and on the couch something wearing my skin turned its head, too far, and smiled with all its teeth.